the same service as the AI comes through also come with a support service from us. So we do want every boat to have this. It will help both us and you with following up our customers. One of the things it does is provide the user with automatic updates, and it doesn't just happen. It's user initialized. They get an icon on their desktop. This movie didn't want to start playing. I'll just push here. They get an icon in their desktop. When they push that, they get an option to upgrade, and then the system handles it for them. So this is on all the boats that are already on our online service support system. They already have this. There are a couple of things with it. There's a 10-minute timeout on it that we might change because some uplinks are slow. So it might take more than 10 minutes to download. It's about 1 gigabyte of download. And once it's downloaded, it just brings the user through the uninstall and install process, and then you are updated. What this system also does, and they can just leave it offline if they want it offline. It doesn't have to be online all the time for this. If they put it online in port when they want to look for updates, system logs on, looks for update, gives them this icon, and they can update. What it also does is it does this. It reports its status up to us so we can see what versions is out there and if there's any problem. So this will help us a lot to follow up and making sure the sonar is always operating at peak performance. So please encourage all your users to put their systems online, at least from time to time, and contact us so we can install this service on their sonar. Once that is on there, they have the opportunity to also sign up for the AI. So everybody, once they're online, and they have to be online for the sign-up process itself, but they'll have that icon you see on the left there, the Simrad AI activation icon. If they double-click that, a web page opens, and you get a QR code. Use your phone on that QR code, and it will bring you to a web page where you will make an account with VM. That is the company that has made the AI. You'll verify your email, and after you verify your email, you can subscribe to the AI by credit card through your phone. So, and it already knows who you are based on the QR code that has the ID of your sonar, your boat. So the AI. So this is the pamphlet we gave out at Palm Beach this year. So it's been live now for a couple of weeks. It is a virtual sonar operator. Is always looking at the screen, looking for fish echoes. So just like any operator, it's just staring at the screen. The difference is he's always staring at the screen. This one never looks at the spread or blinks or looks away, and he never gets tired. So, and he operates just like any human. He looks for echoes, just like you see on the screen there. And if the echo stays there long enough, he understands it's a fish, and he drops a marker on it. So as you see, it drops an upside down marker at this point. So you can see the difference between your markers and the markers dropped by the AI. And we're expanding all the time what the AI is allowed to do at the same time as we're training it to be better and better at interpreting the sonar data. So as of now, it drops markers, but we also can actually use, some of you might have used it, like the priority marker, where you follow on tilt. And another cool thing it can do, it can enable audio. And then it's the actual sonar audio, which is kind of a lost art in the Western world, listening to the ping and to the echo. So this, you would need a speaker hooked up to the computer to use this. But then if you are looking at the spread, you would hear over the speakers the actual ping and the echo from the fish. And it will just turn it on for like a couple of seconds. So you don't have to listen to the audio all the time. So it will have like a dual function. It will be an alert as well as a classification tool, because you'll start to hear what type of fish it is almost based on the echo return. Then when you turn back on the screen, the fish might have moved away or the fish echo, but you'll see the marker, so you'll see where it was. So here you see the first adaptation of the training tool as well. The virtual sonar operator is operating on the image. He's basically looking at the same image that you are looking at when you are using the sonar, but he has much more potential with data further down as well. We did with the early adopters, we started collecting data and started training it. So now we can collect data on different levels. We can collect data based on things the captain do, like placing markers. Or we can, based on the model, collect the data that the model, to verify the model. So when the AI thinks there's a fish, he can take the pictures and he can upload it to us so that we can verify them and retrain the model. So I'll show you some annotation tools here too on how we train the model. That is also expanding all the time when we want to train it to new things and optimize the virtual sonar operator. And everything here is in place with over-the-air updates. So even if you're not online, once you go online, the virtual sonar operator is updated with the latest and greatest. With the SY50 itself, we never do automatic updates. That will be triggered by the user, but the virtual sonar operator just gets updated automatically when he's online. Sorry. Before we go on, I'll just go over a few common concerns, like questions that have come up. I would like feedback from all the dealers too on how do we address this and how we talk about it with them. It's pretty straightforward. The AR works fine if it's offline. So if you don't want to be online or if the Starlink is down, your AI will still work. But it does need to be online to be updated. And for us to be even able to get the data and make the model better based on the pictures from that computer, it would need to be online and share the data. But if users prefer not to share data, that is possible. We can just turn that off, no problem. They will be online. They can get support and automatic updates. But we do suggest they do share the data because when the model works, every boat's a little different. So when I get the pictures from one boat, I go into the pictures and we can sit and we can correct it through the annotation tool, update it, train it so it understands the noise levels, reverberation, and what is fish. This is also a little different from area to area. But we do not in any way share your data or do anything like that. We just use it to make the model better for your system. Also with the feedback, so the users now, I can actually talk to them. I can show them on my laptop what the AI saw on their sonars, and we can talk about how they want the AI to behave. So that gives us a lot of options to make it better for the user. So there's no real know-how being extracted. Like when one captain talks to another, he gives away a lot more know-how on settings and all of these things. We are simply looking at pictures and we are telling the AI model, just like you would tell anybody you were training to a sonar, like this is propeller noise, this is a fish, that might be a fish, and this is a school or bait and things like that. So the sonar is still very much in the head of the captain half of it, and so this is just another tool, gives you an edge. Data sizes are very small. So if you fish every day for a month, it will be like 10 or 15 gigabytes maybe, but that can also be tuned. But data sizes in today's world, these are very, very small data. It's not the acoustic data, it's just the pictures that we are training it on.
Martin, just before you go on, when you mentioned AI needs to be online to be updated, just for people's, I guess, benefit, we're capturing the data and we're retraining the model every day, right? So, for it to be online means that you're getting a better product, better solution every day that it's in existence, right? And so that's why it needs to be online to get an update. You don't have to get an update every day, but we're, constantly improving it. So if you have the ability, or your clients have the ability anyway with Starlink to be online, then they're constantly going to have an improved model, which is improved performance, which is obviously going to get them better results. That's all I wanted to just add to that.
Absolutely. Thanks, Eddie. So here you see there, we can also do this on replay data, actually, which is very good for us because we can use historical data and fine tune this and start and stop and train the model. Here you see how the AI has dropped 3 markers and now 4 markers, and you kind of see the path of the fish. So there's also some fine tuning there. It's replaying in circle here. So now you'll see I deleted the markers. So you'll see a trace of markers when the fish moves, just like any sonar operator would. He puts a marker on it. As the fish moves away, he puts a new, and he sees the track of the fish. So this is in dual mode. We have another mode here in quad. You see we got some different ranges. AI drops the upside down markers. And then as it comes into the second view there with the quad, and as it moves away, it will drop new markers. So that's how it looks. That's how it behaves. So if the captain looks away, looking at the spread, he might hear audio. If he hooked up the sonar audio, he can turn back and he will see the markers the AI dropped, where the AI thought there was a fish of interest, and he can go there. So to not clutter the screen, the AI does check if there's already a marker. So if the captain puts a marker on it, AI won't do it, except in the cases when they drop the marker at the same time. So here you see the marker has been dropped by both the captain and the AI at the same time. So you get 2 markers on top of each other on the fish. So this was an early adaptation of the annotation tool. The annotation tool is what we use to train it. We can't talk to it, but we mark it. Yep.
We just want to add, when you're talking about the markers, if you go to delete, if you have delete markers set up to your knobs on the control head, if you click those, you delete them all, they will delete both the AI and the markers that you put on yourself. So all the markers or the last one will go away.
Yeah. And then there's other options too here, and this we will do based on interaction with the users. So for example, the AI markers, when you drop a trail of AI markers on a fish moving, we could, for example, because we know when you have gone over the fish and when the situation is over and you move away, we could automatically delete all of those markers or all but the last of those markers. So there's a lot of options here once we have a virtual sonar operator that has nothing else to do but to operate the sonar. But these are features and functionalities that we will develop based on discussions with our users, but the options and possibilities here are pretty endless. But this annotation tool now, this is an early adaptation of it. I'll show on the next slide how it's developed as well. Just this picture is real cool because we got a couple of target fish under a bait ball. So you kind of see the power. This is the quad mode though, but they're actually having dual and quad, all the things we can do with it, where you can have the different tilts and really search the whole water column. But here you see we label it, we tell it what's bait and what's fish. This is a later version of the annotation tool. You see we've got a data. So AI, you see it's dropped a couple of upside down markers already. This video in the presentation I'll share with you, I am actually talking in the video as well. So you can just enable audio in the presentation and you can hear me talking about this labeling. But this is the data we collect based on the model. So you see, we collect data all the time, and then when we see something, then we take the data before and after to train the model. So here we know that was a fish coming in on the low range high tilt. And we see also something there that the AI actually didn't pick up. So then I go through it and I do a couple of things. I labeled what the AI didn't pick up, so it learns that that was an interesting target. And that thing there is most likely a fish as well. I can't be sure, but we'll label it with a confidence. And then we'll also go through and label, like here we have a proper propeller noise. We've gone over through some early detections perhaps, but that is clearly propeller noise behind us. So we just tell it it's propeller noise. And then we'll make boxes. Here you see we can add labels with bait ball, school of fish, wake, and so on to teach it the different things. So then here you see the latest thing we've added is that we can tell it through a sequence of pictures. So it understands that this is the same fish. And we can do that across both screens as well. So you see a little green checkbox on the top of the screen. So once I'm done with all the labeling, we'll submit it. And that's when, as Eddie said, all the work we do on all these sequences go back into the big model. Everything is retrained, model is updated, and then over the air, it's updated out on the boats running the AI. Here you see as it gets weaker, but since I have the history, I can actually still label it and tell it it's the same track, even that one, right? I know it's the same thing, but it doesn't look like a fish anymore, but we know it was that same one. So we tell the model this. Same thing here, track 1 and track 2. We'll just add, we can have as many track as we want within the same, I'll skip a little. So but you have all this, you will have this in the presentation we'll send out. This here, I also talk about it. I know that's propeller noise, right? This is the very high propeller noise directly behind us, and then we'll get reflective propeller noise out to the sides. So another thing that we've added to it, so we've as it adapts, we same as any human, you look at it and you think, okay, so when do you place a marker? Because you don't place a marker the first time you see something flash. Depending on how good the target is, you might wait a little. But so we can also here in this annotation tool inform the system about when we think he should place the marker. Like how long should you wait until a marker should be placed? Sorry, there was I really should have had 2 screens while doing this. But here you can see that where we go through it. I see it weekly. Clearly this is the fish, fish, fish. Then I can go in, I can tell him at this point, I would want you to drop the marker and inform the captain that there is a fisher. So that I also go back into the training of the model on how fast the AI should give an alert that there is a fish on the screen. So that's how we train it, and that annotation tool will keep evolving as well as we want it to do more stuff. In addition to just continuously training and making it better at interpreting sonar data, we're allowing it to start change tilt and range and things like that. So we're already testing this out. But before we release that to all the users, we will also give them an opportunity to interact, so to speak, with the virtual sonar operator, because in different markets and different fishing areas, you might want it to do different things. Some might prefer it just to drop markers. Some want it to drop markers and use the sonar audio. And sometimes you want it to actually follow the fish. Like a lot of people, they go down on range and tilt and follow the fish all the way to the boat. So we can also tell the AI to do that. But when you tell a sonar operator to do that, you can also tell him stop or verbally abuse him if he does something wrong. So what we need is an interaction through the panel. So when the user says yes, you're allowed to follow fish on tilt and range, we will also give him the possibility to just click one of the buttons on the panel to say no, this stop that. We move on to the next one, start searching again. Same as any user, you can sit and change the tilt a little, search, look for weak echo, see if you can tilt and get the stronger echo out of it. This will also be made available for the virtual sonar operator. Utilizing vertical view, not a lot of use of that in this market. In other markets, it's very important, but I think there is good use cases for it here as well. But it does take a little interaction with the sonar. And this is where the virtual sonar operator really can come into play, because it takes no effort for the virtual sonar operator to go to the vertical mode, place the vertical ping towards an interesting track, and then visualize on the screen where in the water column that track is. So this will allow us to maximize the usage of all the features and possibilities in the sonars with a virtual sonar operator. So yeah, and it will progress much like any human operator learning. He'll learn to do more and more, and we'll allow him to do more and more with features. Also, what is wanted, what the end user want the virtual sonar operator to do. So feedback from you guys too on what you would like to see in the feature list to come. One other thing that we have done now is this looks a little bigger than it really is in real life. I have to enable notifications on the computer, but we can put this out to the user so they can get a feel for how the AI is. So basically, it will just run on a computer that has not signed up for AI. It will drop markers for X amount of time or fish, and every time it does that, it will notify the user that what the AI did, so that the user sees the value of the AI and gets a feel with what the AI does. So and do follow us on Simrad by Kongsberg on Instagram if you're not already doing it, and we're trying to get some across platform with other influencers. When I pitch this to end users, I'll use presentations like this, but in general, and I can do this after the presentation. I use data, but I only use data from people I have an agreement with that I can use data from. So I very often use, for example, from Fishing Frenzy with Greg. A lot of people know him from the Wicked Tuna, and they kind of know the boat and where he's fishing. So and he's always fishing, so I can bring that up, and then we can go straight in and look at predictions from his sonar that day very often. And then it's unfiltered, right? When you see a presentation, you're like, yeah, they probably you spent a lot of time finding the best possible pictures to pitch this. But I just use the data live from a boat out fishing and show them what it does. So I can bring that page up later too. Did have one yesterday. It was a very nice target, and it was like note down the Latin long. It was joking, but the data I show then, I specifically asked the guys do you want me to cover up the position here? And they said no. So we do not share people's data without explicit consent. somebody tried to say something.
I was going to say I think he got 31 markers placed yesterday in Fishing Frenzy.
Good. Yeah, I was looking at their predictions live with an end user at the same time there.
Nice.
So there's some other possibilities. There's a lot of things that pops up. To do an audio alarm, we if you connect a speaker, right, we can beep out of the computer, and we can also send you sonar audio. But if people don't want the speaker, there is an opportunity here to go into the NMEA 2000 backbone, and there's some general alerts that can be triggered. So that the actual MFD beeps when there's like a fish alarm. That would require another NMEA converter though, and those are quite expensive. We also had a little bit of problem with them. The N2 case and the ActiveSense are mostly used. When they work, they both work great. But there have been issues, and it's also important to configure them for high speed and so on. But there is a possibility here to actually put a simple computer between this and the NMEA 2000 backbone as well. That would actually be easier. It would be pre-configured, so it would be an easier install to get the right data into the sonar. So basically, just that is an option if people want the MFD audio alert them about fish. Then there's actually add-ons there. So this might be a product in the future where we, instead of the NMEA converters, just have a small computer between them. So there's also some cool things that can be done if the captains will take the time to give us the information. So, because we're unsure if this would work, but we do know when the fish, when the boat is hooked up, and we do know when the fight is over. We understand that based on the movement of the boat. And then we have the model predicting where the fish and how you approach the fish. So we can link that information to what the fish was. But we would need the captain to push a button to tell us what it was. But in theory, we could pop up a little dialogue every time after a fight when the boat go back to trolling, where the captain can use the mouse and then just check the box for what kind of fish it was. So if they would do that, we could add that information to the model. I will talk to them about this when we do, for example, a Big Rock, when we'll do our seminar again before the competition and with users. So, but also like your guys' feedback, so we don't make a lot of functionality that won't be used. We want to focus in on what will be used. So, but this could be pretty cool. Another thing we probably want to do is we can just have record raw data. We have a few users that are very good at it. Like they click the record raw data when there's interesting data, and then we can replay it and we can make the system better. We could configure the AI to do this based on when the AI triggers a fish. So we could record a couple of minutes of data every time the AI predicts a fish, save it on the D drive on the computer. That data we wouldn't upload to the cloud automatically. That would be too large of data amounts. But we could save it locally and then use it from there. This is also something that, when you sign up to AI, you can actually log into this page as well. And you can see your boat. You're the only one that can see your boat. So this is my boat it's not my boat, it's Kongsberg's boat with SY50 and SN50 on it. So I can, on my PC, I can sit and look at when it's out fishing. In theory, this is something that, so it's on board a boat, right? It would kind of be like the Garmin Active Captain, that you can have it on your iPad. But this, in theory, we could, if there is interest for it, like a couple of captains that fish together and do share data. In theory, we could have them share so that one captain can look at the other boat's data. So it would be just the ones you want to share with, of course, but that would be a possibility. if the end users are interested in doing something like that.